This is a special presentation from ABC 50, WWTI Watertown.
It's a culture with so much to offer. We're celebrating the Latino communities around Central New York.
I coach. I love coaching. It's not about the sport for me too much. It's about if I can change one or two person's life and go in the right direction, I accomplish stuff.
From food to music, there's no shortage of contributions and experiences to share.
There is a place where you can connect with your culture, your language, music, learn where the restaurants are, the different things in the community that calls the culture, right? And the Hispanics to attend to.
And so much to learn from them.
Through music, through graffiti, through murals, through miniatures, I think art may be the catalyst to push us in the right direction, as a community.
Including the sacrifices made to get where they are.
So I ended up coming to Syracuse with my 4-year-old daughter and not very much money. So I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I gotta get her a better future, and here we are.
Hello and welcome. I'm Christy Casciano. It's no secret Central New York is blooming with a vibrant Hispanic community. We're so excited and honored to shine the spotlight on important advocacy work, vibrant art, traditional foods, and in the case of Carla Zamudio, non-traditional jobs. Walk into an auto body shop. How often do you see a woman on the job?
I don't know what's going on with the window either.
Carla Zamudio is someone who not only calls this industry home, but in this garage, she calls all the shots, too.
She's the best right here, the best boss.
She's fleet general manager for Northside Collision in Cicero, overseeing the daily operation of repairs. Carla's knowledge and know-how are impressive. Just ask any of the guys who work for her.
She's a little more thoughtful and kind of looks out for our well-being sometimes more than numbers and money. So.
And what would you say to men who might walk in here and question that you have a female boss?
Don't be fooled and watch out because she's feisty too.
She's created a family atmosphere here. She has a passion for her work, that's obvious. She also credits her work ethic for her success.
It was tough. It was more tough with the customers than with my employees, because I started as an estimator and moved myself up. So we created a relationship, but with customers it was different because they didn't think that, okay, I'm bidding quotes or estimates against males, and they're like, well, what do you know? What are you talking about? No, we're not gonna send the work there, or we're not gonna give you a chance. But little by little, they got to know me and started trusting me, and now we have very big companies doing business with us.
Sitting in her own office as a general manager, it's a dream that would have been difficult to imagine back in her homeland of Peru. She left in 1992 with her daughter and just $200 in her pocket. Take us back to that time in your life where you were to the point where you had to leave. What forced you to leave Peru?
I was in my mom's house because I was a single parent, and my best friend came over with her daughter, which was the same age as my daughter, and we were there playing, and all of a sudden everything shook, windows exploded, the door came off the tracks, and all we did is we jumped on top of our kids. And it was pretty late at night. There was a car bomb that exploded across the street from us, and just the thought that if my friend wasn't there, my daughter would have been in bed, and all the glass exploded in her bed, and all the glasses were just stuck in her bed. And I was like, oh my gosh, she would have been dead. So I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I gotta get her a better future, and here we are. I don't think the fan shroud is broken, but I hear people complain about the United States. There's one thing. If you want to work and you want to make something of yourself, you can do it. They give you the means to do it. It doesn't matter what you are. You could be starting as a janitor, but you can make yourself be successful if you want to.
Was there something that attracted you to this kind of work?
I liked it. I don't know what it was. I just found it interesting. And maybe my father used to work. My father was a mechanical engineer. And maybe it was inside my roots. I don't know. But, you know, everybody makes fun. They say, well, you ended up just like Dad.
Now enjoying a successful career, Carla also enjoys her growing family. She shares her rich culture and heritage with her adult children and grandchildren.
Family is very important to Peruvians. We always try to get together, celebrate. You know, like Christmas is huge for us. The food is phenomenal. I still cook, you know, to this day, Peruvian food. My daughter does as well. And my daughter speaks fluent Spanish and English, so that carry on through, you know, through the years. But we're very close. We're very close as a family. Peru is a multicultural country. You have everything from, you know, the coast to the mountains to Machu Picchu, which is in, you know, in the Andes, you know, and it's just beautiful.
Carla says anyone can make space for magic, sharing this advice.
I would say don't ever give up. I said if you get knocked down 7 times, get up an 8th time, because I've done it a lot of times. It doesn't matter. You can start fresh and just keep on going, and, you know, if you really want to do something, you definitely can. You gotta be empowered. You gotta be able to say, I can do it, and just do it.
Seguimos aquí en Pulso Central, vía la maravillosa señal de WCNY Syracuse.
The main goal is going to be the biggest showcase of the Latino community here in central New York.
Coming up, it's a new era on the airwaves as Central New York celebrates its first all-Spanish-speaking radio station. We often take for granted skimming the radio, hearing talks and tunes play in our own language, but for the large Spanish-speaking population here, it's a service they've been living without until now.
That's right. Pulso Central is the new station bringing Latino culture to the Central New York airwaves.
A 24-hour radio station, all in Spanish. There's nothing like this.
Nothing like it until now.
Seguimos aquí en Pulso Central, vía la maravillosa señal de WCNY Syracuse.
WCNY introducing Pulso Central, a passion project brought to life by many voices. But before there was any talking, it was all about listening.
This all started with a conversation between my sister, Tere Paniagua, at La Casita, and Mitch, the CEO here at WCNY. And they put out a survey through La Casita programs and activities for a whole year to gather data of what people wanted, if they wanted something like this. And then we started meeting to pull this together. This is a very important project for us, much needed in the Central New York area.
Do you speak Spanish?
This needs seen as the use of Spanish began to flourish in Syracuse.
When I first got here in 2003, you wouldn't hear Spanish absolutely anywhere. Right now, Spanish is everywhere. You even see it in the supermarkets. There are all these Hispanic products, and they have specialized sections just for that. You're in the gas station, and you hear the music from the other cars.
I think with our Latino Hispanic community growing,
Estoy viviendo un sueño.
I think right now is the moment, and right now is very important to have a radio station in Spanish.
Channeling their efforts into creating
Pulso Central. What it means in English will be the central pulse of the community, a sense of life, of celebration, of belonging.
We try to use Pulso Central as a media to promote our culture, information, activities, and try to get the Latino community together.
While also appealing to the interest of many.
The thing with Central New York Hispanic community is it's incredibly diverse. We have people from every region of Latin America. And not because we all speak Spanish, that doesn't mean that we all like the same things. Even inside the Hispanic community exists a very diverse group of cultural background.
Backgrounds now supported with a station listening to them, too.
The important part that they can feel identified, that they feel, oh, finally we had a voice.
And get others to tune in to help grow the audience, like these Syracuse University volunteers.
We tend to fall into the trap of staying on Syracuse's campus, so this is an awesome opportunity to go out of that university bubble and meet people within the community.
My parents immigrated to this country, so I want to bring my traditions and my own culture into the radio station.
The value of being represented not lost on the next generation.
I remember driving up here my freshman year, and I was like, oh, I want to hear some Spanish music, and I was like, oh, well, I couldn't find any Spanish music playing radio station. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird because where I'm from, there's so many. So I think it's pretty cool that these kids, when they now growing up, they're gonna have that access.
More than just talking music, a new chance for everyone to be connected to something greater.
Why we need a Spanish radio station, right? Why the need when English is the first language that we speak in this country? And I say, well, you need it because you want those people who also speak English like me, who are professionals in the area like me, to have a place where they can feel closer to the second home. That doesn't mean that this is not my home. This is my home. I feel very much an American, and I feel very much part of this community. But once in a while, I would like to hear some salsa, merengue, and to feel identified with the culture that I grew up with.
I feel like the Latino community is very strong, and once there's something out there that everyone can have in common, it brings everyone together.
Pulso Central will reach 19 counties in central New York and Mohawk Valley.
It will also be accessible online at pulsocentral.com and streaming on the Pulso Central app.
I'm Puerto Rican, and I struggled because of that. I love my culture, but I was ostracized a lot because of it.
Next, a Syracuse artist makes his struggles his muse and helps future generations embrace their creativity. Go small or go home. Time to meet an artist who has mastered the art of miniatures. Little art with a big impact, capturing the essence of cultural pride.
Throughout all of my pieces, I add bags of cheese doodles because I like them.
You like cheese
I like
doodles?
them, but I struggle with them.
Who doesn't?
I struggle.
He may struggle with his cheese doodle addiction, but these kinds of masterpieces come easy for Syracuse-based Puerto Rican artist Manuel Matias, allowing anyone who looks, or squints, to see things from a different perspective. This is art. It looks like a surveillance camera.
So, it is.
Inside.
I gutted it.
Wow. Forcing you to think.
The camera is trying to catch acts of vandalism, but what it sees is beauty.
Beauty can be all around, drawing inspiration right from the neighborhood. The well-known West Side Sign.
Yeah, the West Side Sign.
Everyone knows that.
Which is my favorite, one of my favorite pieces. I know it doesn't have all the bells and whistles everything else does. It's something about it.
And then we have La Casita.
Yes.
And you have a newsstand.
Yes, from CNY Latino.
And then this one.
So Yandi was the closest thing to authentic Puerto Rican food that I was able to get out here. Plus, they used to provide a lot of food for La Casita. And aesthetically, I've always been drawn to it. I love the color orange and yellow. It may remind me of cheese doodles. Yeah. I don't know.
Finding humor in his work, finding beauty in the ordinary.
These trash cans for me are more than just discarded pieces of trash. I make all of these like time capsules. So things that are happening, like these shoes were really popular at one point. One of my favorite breakdancing movies that came out. I spray paint Malta Goya, a rhyming book. I wanted to be a rapper. I was a failed rapper. So a lot of these pieces have a lot of my current memories and past memories, things that I remember and things that I want to continue to remember. When I think about creating, it looks different every time I create. I've created in a tin cookie can. I've created miniature bedrooms in sneaker boxes. I've gutted spray cans. So it's always going to vary. Whatever is in my head is what I try. You know, I'll think of a piece and then let it sit in my thinking for a while. And if I find something that looks similar to what the piece looks like in my head, then I start creating from there.
When people look at your artwork, what do you want them to think and feel?
I want them to think freedom. Freedom to create, freedom to remember. I would like for them to, if it sparks a memory, to like kind of sit in that memory. And I feel like we glance over our memories really fast.
His art is powerful. Just look at what kids here at La Casita have created with his guidance.
We gave them the glue, the boxes, the paper, the fake foliage, the trees, but we didn't give them any boundaries. They created whatever they wanted to. Then they tell us the stories behind these creations. You know, for example, that one right there with the green and orange, that entire group of animals used to be friends. The group on the left stole a gem from the group on the right, which then caused this chaotic battle between both groups of animals. Amazing. You know, you look at it at first glance, he just glued some animals to the paper. But then each piece has these elaborate stories. The story about the fairy being tricked into reading a book. It was beautiful. It was a lot of fun.
When you look at that beautiful display behind you with your artistic eye, what do you see?
Oh, our future. There's some pieces in there that I would love to keep. You know, just because, and more of them, even minimal pieces. I really love that sewing machine. It's one of our favorite pieces, and it's just, I hope they don't lose it, you know, that childlike freedom to express themselves, and I see the future, you know, I think art brings a lot of joy to communities, through music, through graffiti, through murals, through miniatures. I think art may be the catalyst to push us in the right direction, you know, as a community.
Proving sometimes the best things come in small packages.
I'm ABC 50's Nick DeFerris. Coming up, what do cannonballs and volleyballs have in common? Today, the head women's volleyball coach at JCC is a man whose deep love of service has led him all over the world, from California to northern New York. And it all began with a deep pride in his Aztec heritage. I'm ABC 50's Nick DeFerris. I'm here at Jefferson Community College in Watertown to meet Ernie Exclawa, a man whose incredible Aztec heritage has given him a deep pride in his Hispanic roots. And today, he's the head women's volleyball coach here at JCC.
Funny story, it started my 9th grade year in California in high school. And me and my friends looking at each other and saying, what sport are we going to play in high school? And we all decided, well, what about volleyball? Let's go try it. California, volleyball. Went there and just fell in love with the sport, and that was my main sport. In 1990, I joined the Army. Left there, did serve my country for 25 years, which leads me back here to the North Country. There you go.
Good. But for Ernie, it's more than just the love of the game. From his family, he inherited a deep sense of service that led him to serve his country, serve his community, And today, he sees it as an act of service, guiding and mentoring each and every one of the members of his team.
What's most important is we go into this weekend and we take every match seriously. At the end of a season, having an athlete come to you and say, you changed my life, in so many ways that we won't even know. But just allowing her to recruit her in and allowing her to get back to loving the sport that she loved, that possibly another coach took out of her, and succeeding and coming back and saying thank you. So that's probably one of the biggest moments as a coach for me, that, you know, I did my job.
But the background to Ernie's story of leadership begins with a family legacy of service and political intrigue in 1950s Mexico.
Where the majority of my family is from is Cocula, Mexico, which is in the state of Jalisco, central Mexico. My last name was just, it's on streets, it's on the school. A lot of family I haven't met, they live there. The majority of the last name is from that region. My great-grandfather was the mayor there. Unfortunately, he was assassinated in 1951 because he was on his way to be something higher up in Guadalajara in the political world, but he was assassinated there in 1951.
Today, Ernie takes a tremendous pride in his family's history, but what makes him even happier is knowing how much his own children care about that legacy too.
I have 2 kids, and they always ask me, my son, coming up, he's a senior this year, always asking me about the last name, about the history, and he's in the books about reading about Aztecs, and he is one that wants to get into the political world. He wants to be a lawyer. He wants to do these things to serve. I think it's great, because at that age, I wasn't asking my uncles, hey, what does our last name mean? What is this? Until I got older.
And it's not just history Ernie's eager to share. These days, he's become something of a chef, and he loves nothing more than sharing his own hometown cuisine with family, friends, and the whole team.
It's been amazing, because you get to share your culture, especially the food. That's my next hobby, is I love to cook. I love to bring the California street taco vibe to just my family and friends and my teams, and I cook for them, and they always want more. And the more I can bring that to them brings me joy. And we take every match seriously. 1 point at a time, right? And what else at a time? 1 match at a time. 1 match, 1 point at a time. We win together. I was serving youth when growing up. I served my country. And now what I do, you know, I coach. I love coaching. It's not about the sport for me too much. It's about, if I can change 1 or 2 person's life and go in the right direction, I accomplish stuff. And to see them grow, especially in competition, you know, where they're not nervous, they can overcome things and continue forth, and it's great to see.
It's all about the passion. We hope you too have been inspired by their cultural pride, their perseverance, and determination rooted in tradition. On behalf of the entire News Channel 9 team, thank you for watching.